doing sports like that with your friends. Now, the second study was done on individuals who did not do much exercise, and they found that if you simply replace sitting with 15 minutes of running per day, this reduced your chances of getting depression by 26%. Let that sink in. You can do 15 minutes of running, 15 minutes out of your 24 hours per day. If you run for that time, or maybe other exercises as well. It did look at a couple of other exercises as well, and they had similar results. But just doing exercise for a short amount of period could. I mean, I knew exercise was good for you before reading that, but that genuinely really shocked me. I didn't realise the extent that exercise can genuinely help you. Now, secondly, I want to talk about the main focus of this video, which is how to actually implement exercise into your busy schedule. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I really feel like will change your life, because when I found this out, it changed my life. And it might seem like a bit of a tangent, but you have to trust me here because it is quite relevant. So I read a book last year called The Freedom Model, and it is about addiction. And it argues that addiction does not exist. Addiction as a form of loss of self-control. And in fact, addicts will partake in the activity or drug or anything else they believe they're addicted to because they genuinely think it will make them happy. Now, I don't really want to go into specifics of this because it's very, very, very complex. I would highly recommend you read the book because it's actually a really interesting read. But the best way and the easiest way to do exercise is to make it fun and make yourself want to do it. Now, I know this might seem like wishy-washy, not really practical advice. However, genuinely, you need to take this to heart because this is the way you do exercise for the rest of your life, not by stuff like habit stacking, doing it at the same time every day. Now, things like that might help you get into an exercise routine, but if you don't enjoy it, you will not stick to it for the rest of your life. And that is the important thing. Exercise is something you need to be doing for the rest of your life because it is that important and that good for you. My way of making it fun, and I feel like a lot of people's way of making it fun, is simply doing it with your friend. For example, I go to the gym about 5 times a week. I always go with the same person, and then sometimes someone else joins us if she can actually be asked to go. But that is so much fun because I just go with 2 of my closest friends, and especially after work, it feels less like a workout, less like exercise, and more just like a debrief and just friends hanging out who are doing exercise on the side as well. Also, I love to do things like play football with a massive group of friends that I have. We also play a lot of paddle. We've had a tournament. We have another tournament upcoming. It's just... And these are genuinely the best parts of my week. So I don't have to think about doing exercise because I've made it the best part of my week. Now, this could take the form of anything. For example, you could go out for a walk with your dog. And on that walk, you could meet your friend and then you could walk together. There you go. You could go out for a walk with your fiance. There's so many different ways to make it fun. I think the main way is doing it socially, but it will be different and individual to a lot of people. But my other bit of advice would be, if you can't really think of a way of making it fun, don't fret. As I said, exercise is something you need to be doing for the rest of your life. So if you're not in an exercise routine at the moment, that's okay. And if it takes you weeks, months, or even years to find an activity and find a way to make it fun, that's okay, because it's the long term that matters. It's your long-term health that matters. Now, there will be some people out there who will have seen that last bit and thought, there is genuinely no way I could ever find exercise fun. And I relate to that because it would have been about 2 years ago, I worked a full-time job that I really, really, really didn't enjoy. And afterwards, I would try and force myself to go directly from work to the gym. I had to bike along a really, really busy road that was not safe at all to the gym, which was about a 20-minute bike ride away. And it was the kind of work that it was very physical, and like the last thing you really wanted to do was go to the gym. And sometimes I would force myself, but I took probably about a 4 or 6 week break because it was only a summer job and I was going back to university. But I just didn't want to do it. I really do understand if you're in a position that you feel like exercise is the last thing in the world you want to do. However, the piece of advice I would say to you is that if you really feel like you can't make it fun, build it up in the smallest of steps possible. And this could be said for anything. Obviously, we talk about exercise here. But for example, no one's ever told you how to start running, have they? Because why would anyone need to tell you how to start running? You just go outside and run. It's that easy. But at the same time, it's really not that easy, because if it was that simply that easy to start running, everyone would do it. Everyone would be out there because, as we've established, everybody knows that exercise is actually really good for you. So if you feel like there's this massive mental wall between you and getting out there and doing some exercise, take the smallest of steps possible. For example, if you want to build up and start running, go for a walk after work. And once you can go for a walk every day for 5 minutes, go for a 15-minute walk 3 times a week. Once you can do that, and once you've done that for a few months, go for a 2-minute run. Build it up really, really slowly, because as I've said, exercise should be something you do for the rest of your life. Therefore, if it takes a while to build it up there, that's completely okay. But if you're doing no exercise, going for a 5-minute walk is progress, and that's absolutely incredible, because all you need to do is build up that progress, and then you'll be in an unrecognizable state where you genuinely quite enjoy it. Now, lastly, I do just want to give some advice to people who might be on the other end of the spectrum and feel really, really motivated to get out there and do something. Go to the gym, go running, anything. It's much better to take it easy and, as I've said, do it for the rest of your life than do loads of intense exercise for a couple of weeks and then never do it again. I mean, we've all seen it, where someone's really, really into going to the gym, they're really into running, and they go every day for like 3 weeks and then they just give up because it's just unsustainable. So I do just want to give a warning to those people out there who might feel like they might have a bit too much motivation, and take it easy, because if you're not used to something like going to the gym and you go 14 days in a row, and on that 15th day you can barely get out of bed because your body's like, what the fuck is even happening? Because you don't go to the gym that much, you will give up because you will feel like shit. But instead, if you go running twice a week, if you go to the gym twice a week, then you can build it up from there, get your body used to it, and then you can make it a long-term habit, because exercise, it's for the long run. It's much better you go to the gym 3 times a week for the rest of your life than going to the gym every day for a month and then giving up.